Hello and welcome to class number 19 of the UPSC Mains Answer Writing Initiative, a place where we try and answer a previous year question, see how the answer has to be written, the structure of the answer, and also give you a homework to make you also practice the art of answer writing. The objective here is simple, to make you less afraid of answer writing, because this is where most of the marks lie. You have to be confident enough to face all types of questions, and this is what we are going to do here. As you know, I upload the PDF of all these lectures on the Telegram channel. If you want to get these PDFs, all that you need to do is join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description of this video. Also, reminding you, if you are new here, when we started this series in the very first class, we discussed about how to structure an answer. We discussed about how to decide the introduction part, main body, the concluding part. If you have still not seen that video, in the description of this video, I am giving you a playlist link. The playlist will be called as UPSC Mains Answer Writing Initiative. Click on that and go to lecture number 1. In the first lecture, we discussed about how to write answers, how to make a structure. Once you're done with that, you can come back. So let's see what is the question that we are going to be answering from 2023 again. So we have taken up a question from GS1. It's a question from geography. Comment on the resource potential of the long coastline of India and highlight the status of natural hazard preparedness in these areas. Pretty simple, straightforward question. They're asking you two things for the main body. First, the resource potential. Now, when you say resource potential, means India has a long coastline. How can we leverage this economically in terms of resources? So think about it. When you talk about the long coastline, what is the resource that comes to your mind? First, obviously, is fisheries. That comes to your mind. What else? Tourism. We see so many people, India and beyond, coming into India to visit these beaches. Then you also have the energy aspect of it. Be it trying to explore oil and gas, be it trying to ensure that we can convert wind energy or hydrothermal energy, trying to see if we can use that. Most of the nuclear power plants also are being established nearby these coastline areas because of the requirement of water. All these and a lot more can be a potential of India's long coastline. There is an economic aspect of it as well. Only the countries that have a long coastline can have enhanced trade with other parts of the world. Look at some of the countries in Central Asia. Even though they have almost all the minerals that you can see on the periodic table, they still don't have a lot of trade because they are countries that are close, they are landlocked countries. So India's long coastline gives us that opportunity. So these are resource potential, and then you can write some others as well. What about the status of India's preparedness? Now, preparedness in these areas, this is where you have to give real examples. Basically, preparedness in these areas has to be written in the context that India in the past has faced a lot of natural disasters, and we continue to face issues such as cyclones. We still have issues such as tsunami, and we have had destruction in the past as well. How well are we prepared to tackle that? You have to give examples. For example, write some of the initiatives taken by, let's say, Odisha. How they have been able to reduce their death toll from thousands to almost in single figures. Give some examples of, let's say, Andhra Pradesh. Give some examples of how the government of India has been utilizing in technology to get latest information and prediction about what can we expect in these areas. So these are the two big paragraphs in the main body. First, the resource potential, and second, real examples with how prepared we are. That is how you'll have to write it. So pretty simple, straightforward. How do we begin? As I told you multiple times, introduction has to be a fact or a definition. Over here, it has to be a simple, straightforward fact about India's coastline, because that is what the question is. If you don't remember the exact figure, please don't write it. If you don't remember the exact figure, you can write India's coastline of over 7,500 kilometers. That can also work. So if you write over 7,500 kilometers, that will also work. No issues with that. So basically that will be your fact to begin with. And this is where you will have the connecting line. because we know that we will be writing in the main body about the resources and about the natural hazard preparedness. So we'll give a connecting line here that we have various opportunities for livelihood and economic development based on India's long coastline. So now the first part of the main body. First, economic potential. Food resources, as I told you about the fisheries, etc. 25% of total production comes from marine resources. India supplies a lot of fish around the world. We have also been starting a lot of projects to export fish outside India. We have also discussed how the government, for example, is looking into seaweed cultivation. So objectives such as expansion of seaweed cultivation can only happen because of our long coastline. Energy resources, you can give multiple examples here. Offshore oil and gas exploration in Krishna Godavari basin, offshore wind energy, also mineral resources, etc. And because we have written energy resources, you can also write about trade over here. If you want, you can have a separate column or separate heading for trade. If you want, you can include here as well. Please remember, most of the countries, their external trade will always be majorly on water. Waterways transportation is the cheapest and also the most environmentally friendly way to export goods from one place to the other. This is where humongous containers go from one country to the other. So that is also that you can include here. Then tourism, we discuss about that. If you have a fact here, great. If you don't have a fact, you can make notes such as coastal tourism contributes about 1.8% of India's GDP, which is a huge number. Then we have schemes such as the Government of India building marine parks, coastal heritage, etc. These coastline also help in being a natural barrier. For example, in case of the mangrove forest, etc., that protect coastal erosion and also salt production as well, for which you need a huge coastline. India is one of the largest producers of salt in the world. So these are the potential, resource potential because of India's long coastline. So this is the first part of the main body. Second part of the main body, as we discussed, will be about how prepared we are for tackling these natural disasters. So first will be cyclones. Here, the more examples you give, the better it would be. Examples of states such as Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, examples of what IMD has been doing, examples of the government using more technology, give examples of technology such as the Doppler radars, automated weather stations that have considerably reduced the death toll in these kind of instances now. We have also seen floods in states such as Tamil Nadu, Odisha, West Bengal. Here also, we have the potential to reduce its impact with mangrove restoration, shelter bed plantation, etc. The Government of India makes use of real-time information dissemination. The Government of India, for example, sends messages, alarms to communities living nearby the coastal areas. In terms of coastal erosion also, the government has been trying to nourish beach through sand bypassing, planting, shelter bed species. We have also been trying to regulate activities such as groundwater extension. And again, only write the points that you remember. I told this earlier also. If you remember only 3 points, write 3. Don't try to expand that into 5 points because the last 2 will not make any sense. UPSC does not tell you how many points to write. It has to be your decision. So based on what you remember, only write those pointers. And then we'll conclude here. In these kind of questions, if you want, you can give a way forward of other examples that India should utilize this and this. For example, if you have or if you know of a country that has done a great job in this aspect of preserving their coastal areas or trying to be more prepared. If you have an example of such a country, you can write that in a conclusion in the kind of a way forward that India can collaborate with this country, etc. If you don't have that kind of an example, you can just summarize this like this, that our coastline gives us great opportunity for growth across various sectors and we must use it to give a boost to our blue economy. Something like that. So either you can give a way forward by giving examples of countries which are doing a great job and we can learn from there. If not, you can just summarize it. And on that note, this is your homework again from GS1. Identify and discuss the factors responsible for diversity of natural vegetation in India. Assess the significance of wildlife sanctuaries in rainforest regions in India. 200 word answer. Try and see if you can write it. If you want me to check your answer, you can always email it on this email ID. I'll be happy to give you a feedback. Please be very regular with this series, and I'm seeing many of you are doing that, so great job on that front. I really hope this is helping you enhance your answer writing skills. I'll see you in the next one very soon. Do hit the subscribe button if you have not done so till now. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Jai Hind.